Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Quality QuaranTIME. My name is Alex Vander Johnson. Today, we are going to be talking to my brother, Marcus Vanderhook. He lives in LA with me now. He previously lived in New York. He went to USC South Carolina. I went to USC Southern California. So, I'm going to talk to him today about our upbringing, certain memories that he has, how he feels about having a gay brother and what he's learned from that. And I don't know. We'll see what else he shares. Hopefully, nothing too embarrassing. Or although I've pretty much shared it all. I feel like at this point. So here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
What's up? How are you? Are you? Is that who? What dog do I hear right now?
This is Mama. She of course wants all the attention.
Sure.
She wants all the love, and then I got Chance to my left over here.
Funny. Funny.
Yeah.
Now, for people who are watching, you just adopted Mama.
Yes.
Literally before all of this went down. How is this going? How has it been going having a new dog in the midst of all of this?
Yeah, so we did. We adopted Mama about a couple months ago. Shortly after we got back from the BVI, actually.
Yeah. Well,
When you were
literally, our wedding happened, and then 2 weeks later, we were in quarantine.
right. So literally between getting back from the BVI and the quarantine beginning, we got Mama. It's kind of a long story, but Claire had found her on the street when she was volunteering,
Uh huh.
and we brought her back to the shelter. And they said that she's about 10 years old and had some health complications. So older dogs just don't last very long in shelters due to depression and other things like that. You know, they're
Oh,
very susceptible to a ton of things. So we decided to just scoop her up and bring her home, and she's been great. She was an outdoor dog her whole life, so she's adjusting to her new, very much so indoor life. But she's been doing great.
yeah. And her and Chance are getting along.
Yes, they have improved drastically. Mama, it's sad to even say out loud, but she's like kind of new to getting love and attention. So once she got a taste of that, it was like, I mean, she still is a little bit like all over us and pretty clingy.
Yeah.
But so whenever we would try to give attention a chance or anything else, really, she was pretty standoffish. But they've gotten past that and
Okay.
certainly improved
Gosh,
since the
what is
beginning.
she gonna be like after all of this when you have to leave the house?
Oh my God, I know. Well, we have her on like doggy Xanax,
Oh, okay.
because yeah, because
I need
because of
some.
it. Right, exactly. What's crazy? It's like I say doggy Xanax, but I think it's just like it's fine for people too. I
Sure.
think it's just
That's not an official endorsement or anything.
no, 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 yeah, yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
don't try this at home. But yeah, so she has that to help with her separation anxiety because it kind of feeds into the whole. Now that she has us, she freaks out a little bit when we're not around. So that's just one of the other challenges that we've gone through with her. But
Sure.
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, can you show me around a little bit? Is it clean?
Yes, no,
O-
not very clean. So I'm gonna
Okay.
limit how much you see.
Okay.
um, to be fair, but this is our little like back patio area.
Okay. And you're in Santa
Um,
Monica.
yes, this is Santa Monica and Chance on his bed. Oh, I do want to show my Nicole Kutz original though.
Nice.
Yeah, probably
Nice. Did you recently get that?
Claire had gotten me that for Christmas. I believe right before we moved, so like in December before we moved out here in April.
And for
Yeah.
those who don't know who Nicole is one of our childhood friends that we have known since we were, well, since you were
I was
born.
born.
Since
She was in the
you've known
hospital.
her your whole life, and for me, I met her when I was 4. So, and she's
Yeah.
out here too in LA. So it's just so crazy that we have all
Yeah.
come out here.
Yeah.
What was part of the decision in moving to LA?
Um, so I lived in New York for 3 years, and me personally had just gotten burnt out. a little bit, and also just the oh geez, um, yeah, just work and everything like that. Just a little burnt out in where my career was going. So we just started thinking of like new places that we should look into living. And me personally, I just wasn't ready to go back to the Southeast to kind of settle down, if you will. So we started, I started brainstorming with Claire, obviously, on some cities I would consider. And with you being out here for 10 years and me being, semi-familiar with the area, it was certainly an option. And then we took that wonderful 4th of July trip out to come see you guys, which was kind of like a pseudo trial run to see, what it's like a little bit. Even though I'm pretty sure we didn't leave your pool pretty much all
the whole
weekend. We were just wasted by the pool all weekend. But no, it's just such a blast. And your community and your friends and everything was just incredible. So we made the cross-country drive.
And you are in consulting, correct?
I
still have no idea how to describe what it is that you do.
It's
Is it weird for you at all because, growing up, I was the sort of, for lack of a better way of saying it, the star child who was good at school and was well behaved and was sort of the easy child. How do you feel with our roles in the family now? Do you feel like they've switched now that you're, an accomplished adult and I'm still like figuring my shit out?
I just, what's funny is I really don't think it's changed too much, right? Like, certainly our relationship it's always been just so strong and friendly between us. I don't think we are competitive with each other, but at the same time, it's never been like me or him type situation. We always like support each other and things like that.
Well, we've always had our own lane.
Right. Very true. We were never interested in becoming successful at the same things, which I do think helps us, not really compare careers or anything like that. But yeah, definitely like our certain lane. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I've always loved being the youngest and, the cheeky one in the family a little bit, the little troublemaker. So I think that's probably still true.
Yeah, probably. Well, I know that something that you've shared with me is that when you would go through school, teachers who had me would then have a certain expectation for how you were going to behave and be in the class, and you were the total opposite. Did that ever, was that ever difficult for you, and if it was, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say difficult, but it never made me feel good just because, we are just such different people. So when somebody from the get-go has this weird expectation on you that, you're not really yourself, not being compared to yourself, it's just strange. So it was just off-putting, our relationship from the get-go between me and this teacher.
Yeah.
And I almost felt more compelled to be even more different in the ways that we are. I was like, oh, you think I'm going to be getting straight A's, goody two-shoes kind of deal, watch this.
Right. Did it, so in a way, it almost made you stronger in in who you are?
I doubled down. I probably doubled down with those teachers and being the, kind of class clown or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've always been very confident.
Yes.
You don't have, from what I can tell, you don't seem to experience the common emotion that most humans experience, which is anxiety.
Right.
Do you ever experience anxiety?
No, I get stressed, about work things, and stuff like that. But my understanding about anxiety, and I understand it's different from everybody, but it can be really, um, it can hinder your like decision making. You kind of feel trapped, and it's like a next level of stress that I don't think personally I quite can understand, empathize with completely, just because I don't think I've experienced it. I don't know why that is, but I certainly can see between like you and I, your anxieties and stress with the world. It certainly has never affected me like that. And I don't know if it's because I'm stubborn or sure of myself or confident or what it is, but I certainly have never struggled with it all too much. But, stress about work and stuff,
Right. Well,
kind of normal.
And to me, you never seem to get nervous about whether or not people are going to like you or not. Why is that? Do you care about what other people think of you, or?
I do. I like people to like me. I want people to like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just even saying that, right, would put me in the category as I guess I do somewhat care if people like me. But I guess we've just, growing up, and I've just been so fortunate to have so many quality people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't really stress about meeting a new person. Is this going to be a new friend or not? Because from my perspective, like, I have everything I need,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Like, I have such a strong support system, and everywhere I go, I've been so fortunate to meet, such genuine people.
Yeah.
So I never had that, like walking into a new situation being like, oh, I need this. I need to make more friends, and like putting that pressure upon myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, okay, I know who I am. I have my people.
Yeah.
And, I'm just going to be myself and see what happens. And, yeah, certainly confidence has a role to play in that.
That's so interesting, because that's exactly what I told myself when I moved to California. I told myself that I didn't need to make any more friends because all my friends were back home, and if things fell through, I just could always pick up the phone and whatever. With your friend group, how have you stayed in touch, either through social media, and do you feel like those connections are stronger, or how do you maintain a good friendship long distance?
I text a lot of people.
You're extremely social. It's like exhausting for me.
Yeah, I have a lot of group texts with different, I have my high school friend group texts, fraternity brother group texts, this friend group text, and then Snapchat and things like that. Honestly, I'm not as big on social media. I'm not on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, I use Twitter for news, and then Instagram just for, I guess, what normal stuff.
Now you do have some more conservative friends, and you do have people with various political backgrounds. How was it for you growing up with a gay brother?
Yeah, honestly, I was lucky that all my close friends, never gave me a hard time about it. They never got on my case. It was really just like the people outside of my own circle that, would say some things that would take me off guard, or, make me extremely angry. But I would say, like, it kind of goes back maybe to the confidence thing, and even our relationship too is what everybody else was saying, like, wasn't even important to me. I knew how much we loved each other, and at least my inner circle of friends were like extremely cool and supportive. I mean, back then, calling something gay is a very common thing to say, just whimsically. So I'm sure that was going on.
Well,
and I
well,
would
not
just,
whimsically,
right.
but derogatorily, like like something silly or stupid, or
That's what I meant.
And in your toast that you gave for my wedding, you even mentioned your own sort of growth with, with the gay thing, and how you've sort of evolved and changed. what would you say is a moment in time where you had a shift in thinking and you realized, oh, I have to change this, or the way that I was thinking about this is not the right way and I need to think about it a different way?
Yeah. I mean, I'll come out and say I think honestly, you being gay is like one of the best thing that's ever happened to me. Um,
Oh,
just
please.
I'm not even kidding. It really did. I'm just thinking about the alternative, right? If you were straight and we were just living in the South, like I might have not been able to meet and experience and be so open to so many of the people and things that we've been able to do together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for me to really get to know you, like I don't know if um, if you were straight, like we would have these similar things, similar experiences that I now wouldn't change for the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just why I say that. Um, but yeah, I mean, certainly, I mean, I was really young when you came out. I want to say I was 14. And I remember asking you, are you sure? And I said this during my toast, but it wasn't just me not wanting you to be, or, you know, anything like that, or that I was against you being gay. It was just that I was genuinely worried about you because I know how difficult it was, you know, where we were growing up and the stress that you were going to have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And things were relatively, you know, besides some us misbehaving and, you know, my teachers and stuff like that, I relatively had it pretty easy growing up. So um, I just wanted the same for you. And that's kind of where I started. And then since then, I think just being around it, right? I think with a lot of Americans and just people in general is we're also scared of the unknown. So unless you meet a gay person and spend time with them and notice that they're just exactly like you,
Mm-hmm.
people just think that, you know, that for whatever reason that there's so, you know, that there's so many differences between us, but somebody's sexuality, like, it's not like we talk about how we're straight all the time. Like,
Right.
why is it even a topic? You should just be getting to know the person. So I'm not really sure at what age it started, but I think it was just over time, me being around you and your boyfriends,
Yeah.
or your, you know, other gay friends and things like that, which I all love now. And
Yeah. Well,
it's been awesome.
one of the things that, you know, when I was talking about with Mom in her episode was the Genie performance where I was painted all blue and I was in gold spandex.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, I mean, I know that I've done a lot of performances that have sort of been weird, out of the box, not always great. Like, you know,
Yeah.
has, I think that's a moment where other people would maybe get uncomfortable
Yeah.
in being like a brother or in relation to someone
Yeah.
like that because it's quote unquote embarrassing. Did you
Yeah.
ever make the shift? How have you dealt with the more quote unquote out there performances or out there things that I've
Yeah,
done?
I specifically remember that, Genie, and I'm sure you've heard, but specifically remember that because I was just worried about you getting bullied, like straight up. I was like, why is he doing this? I was like, does he know that like everybody's gonna be making fun of him? Like that's where I was coming from. I thought just like everybody was gonna be so, you know, just mean about it, and I just didn't want that for you. I didn't think that you deserved that, although like, you know, I want you to do whatever you want, but that's where I was coming from at that time.
Yeah.
And um, you know, I think besides like the big performances, it was normal to see you dancing and singing and doing whatever that, you know, we would come home and turn on MTV hits and you just watch it for hours and hours of all the different music videos. You're just obsessed with music videos.
Yeah.
And I have seen so many terrible 90s music videos, I'm sure, that like I don't even remember, but I think just time and exposure and the fact that I knew that it was you, like it really was authentically yourself,
Right.
Is what kind of made me come around to it.
Yeah. What's something about the way that we were raised that you hope to emulate, you know, with your own children one day?
Oh gosh, I hope my children are as close as me and you were.
Mm-hmm.
I never remember like fighting with you. I don't think we've ever even uh, gotten physical with one another.
That's not
And
true.
if so, I mean,
Like
I would say
roughhousing. I mean, like
rough
pillow
housing.
fights
I
and
mean,
like.
right. But that's different. I'm talking about like brothers fight like to hurt each other.
Mm.
And I don't remember us ever like me wanting to hurt you or anything like that. Our relationship was just different. And
There was that time with the rocking chair where we were rough. You don't remember that?
no,
We were roughhousing and like right before our aunt and uncle came over and like you knocked your head on the rocking chair and it was bleeding. Yeah, you don't
I
remember
might have
that?
had a concussion. So
No,
there
you
you
did
go.
not. No, you did not.
You beat me up, and
Well,
now I can't remember.
you're also not to counter you on, you're very argumentative.
Yes, that is true.
So we had lots of
Yes,
debates.
arguments.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to make it seem like we were perfect brothers, but
Well, that's what
um,
I sort of feel like. Like I don't want to paint that picture,
oh,
but
okay.
we were close. Yeah.
Yeah,
We never
I guess
like
that's what I mean.
actively. We never actively like hated each other. I don't think.
Right. And like the line of communication, it was never severed or even close to being severed. It's always been kind of um, just me and you. Uh,
Why do you
you
think?
know,
Why do you think that was?
I would certainly say that our parents' divorce had a huge part in that, just
Hmm.
because it went from like one family dynamic of four core people, and then kind of two of those people split up, right? And so we were the only, we were the only children of both of those parents going through the same exact thing. So um, I often say, it comes up in a conversation. Oh yeah, my parents are divorced, and people often say like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." Like, sorry to hear that. And I'm like, no, it's completely fine. Like our parents handled it incredibly.
Yeah.
And I think it brought us so much closer together. So there's just so many butterfly effects type stuff
Right.
that came from that is, I think, shaped both of us who we are today.
Right. Do you remember the like when they sat us down and told us they were getting divorced? You do.
Oh yeah, I remember it. One of our like family meetings, right?
Yeah.
I think every family has a version of that, one or the other, where it's like either something really good happened or one of us got in trouble
Or you're going
or
to Disneyland.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So
Right.
always some big event.
Yeah.
But
What do
the
you think?
vibe around that one was negative.
What do you, you don't say? What do you think the divorce taught you?
Um, I think the divorce, what it taught me is hard, but I think what the divorce really did for me is, like I said, it kind of shifted the family dynamic a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, so it kind of forced me into a state where at a lot of points, didn't want to spend too much time at home. Um, and I think that's seen through how many sleepovers I had at like Connor Breslin's house or Rob Mann's house or Daniel Carseboom's house. I was always kind of, I would get home from school, drop my backpack, and be like ready to go out the door and go spend time with other people. And I think what it kind of did for me is it enabled me to build a lot of strong, lasting relationships with other families. And I
Right.
think you have the same thing with, as I'm thinking about this, of like families who like really consider you as like part of the crew,
Yeah.
part of the wolf pack. And I think it might have even jolted both of us into a state where that traditional family environment, maybe we were looking for that, or that's what we enjoyed at the time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hi
That's
mama, hi
very
mama.
interesting.
I don't
Well,
know, because we both have like all these amazing families and friends in our lives, and
uh-huh.
I know for me, I just didn't want to spend too much time at home, not because it was really that ugly, or I don't want to paint that picture either, but
No.
um, yeah, like I said, our parents handled the whole situation phenomenally. Um,
Yeah. Did it teach
but
you anything about how to have a relationship?
yeah, maybe the only thing like that has like stuck out in your head, and maybe like most people who have divorced parents, is like, I'm like, well, mom and dad definitely loved each other at some point, and they got married, and then they end up getting divorced. And
Hmm.
just like that thought, it's sad to think of love that way, that it can be temporary and turned off and on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I wrestled with that for a little bit, like true love being a thing, like
Right.
that whole question.
Totally.
Because I was like, it almost just seems like a feeling in a period of time that you feel extremely strongly about somebody, but just as fast as it came on, it can drift away. But after looking at the whole scope of the situation, I'm definitely way more optimistic than that. That was just
Right.
kind of that was like the angsty teen
Totally.
in me.
Well, I almost feel like, have you maybe been more attentive to the maintaining of the love aspect in the relationship in order to keep it alive? Or maybe I just like making shit up, but just like, I mean, maybe, I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying. I mean, Claire and I are so similar that obviously we have our ups and downs, but our love for each other has never been in question.
Yeah.
Really, since we started dating. So I feel very fortunate on that front.
Yeah.
There hasn't been much doubt, at least on my end.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh.
It's been good. I don't think that's hasn't been something I needed to focus on. Good. I should say that.
Well, thank you for spending this quality QuaranTIME with me.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to end things with, is there anything that you're obsessed with this week?
Oh, The Amazing Race. Oh my gosh. Yes. So,
is it new?
No. So a group of friends from undergrad, one of my group chats, we FaceTime every Thursday night, and we decided to pick a show to watch like 5 episodes this week, talk about it on Thursday, watch 5 episodes and talk about it. So what we did is we chose The Amazing Race, chose a random season 15, because there's like 30 seasons on Hulu, by the way.
Yeah.
So we chose season 15, and everybody picked their top 3, and then we all put $5 in the pot of who's gonna win it. So Claire and I are obsessed with The Amazing Race right now. So much so, we watched all of our 5 episodes and then started a different season just for me and her to watch.
Wow.
So we have two seasons of The Amazing Race going on right now.
That's awesome. I used to love The Amazing Race back in high school. Channel 128. I would watch it while eating a bowl of ice cream, and like, I was obsessed with it.
I know, and it's still amazing, by the way.
Yeah. I could see that standing the test of time, maybe.
Yeah, it's just, regular everyday people and couples or friends and stuff like that. Some of the newer seasons I've heard there's been like YouTube stars.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm about that. I love that they choose, like, this one season they chose like a coal miner from Kentucky and his stay-at-home wife, and they're traveling the world together. Like, that's the content I'm here to see. I'm not here to see like the YouTube star obviously trying to get some sort of clout from being on the show go through these goofy challenges.
Yeah.
I like the regular people, so we've been obsessed with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending this quality QuaranTIME with me.
For sure.
I look forward to when all of this is over so we can hang out again.
I know. That's what's been like one of the best parts. We were in like such a groove of hanging out. Especially at the BVI, like everybody was on like this vacation high.
I know. And it quickly came like like this is like the worst post-vacation depression. Like, yeah, it was definitely a jolt for sure. Right. Hey, but at least it happened, is what I keep saying. At least it happened. Yeah.
I mean, without a hitch, really, too.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch up again soon.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later.
Love you, bro. See ya.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Quality QuaranTIME. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. See you next time.